Abhishek?
Good afternoon. It's kind of tough following that up, but no, just stop the coffee, that's all. Yeah, I think the greatest benefit of getting to speak last is you get to agree with everybody. And they pretty much covered everything and said everything, and I agree with all of them. There has to be a fair mix of passion and economics, because I really do believe they go hand in hand, and if we do away with even one of them, I think the entire structure is just going to crumble. So, like I said, they've already said what I needed to say, and we should, yeah.
So Abhishek, you obviously have a humongous fan following yourself, and we all know your passion for sports and the proof that you are as a sports fan. The question is, what made you invest in sport, and what about kabaddi and football, which really excited you?
Firstly, I'm sitting on this esteemed panel as I'd like to believe as a team owner and somebody who's passionate about sports. I'm not here because I'm a film star, I've not brought that to the table in my sporting ventures. Whether that's had a ripple effect, so be it. I've always wanted to do something with sports because, very similar to Shailendra, I do believe that there's a lot that needs to still be done in the country with regards to sports. I was a sportsman in school, and I've always been interested in doing something in India with the Indian context. Unfortunately, we still believe in India that sports is just fooling around and it's not really a proper career. I think with the advent of the IPL, it's really gone to prove that you don't have to be just out of over 1 billion people, the lucky 11 to be able to make career into cricket into a career. And I really think the IPL has set the foundation for a lot of these leagues. So it was the penchant to want to do something with sports. Having been a sportsman, being passionate as a fan of sports. Kabaddi came, I do agree, initially Kabaddi was a very left field kind of a thought. You know, nobody really understood. My first question when Charu spoke to me was like, really? And when he said, just come with me to a match. And when I went and I saw the people and the energy that they had, I just knew that this is something that has to be brought to the spotlight and something that has to be packaged for television and given that kind of an audience. The one thing that was very eye-opening for me in terms of Kabaddi, which I don't think many people in this room will also think was even played anymore until they saw the Pro Kabaddi League, was when I said it's a very rural sport. It's not really has anything to do with the urban India that is flourishing today. And Charu asked me something which I thought was a trick question. He said, how many Kabaddi clubs do you think there are in the city of Mumbai? And being over smart, obviously, I thought it was a trick question, so I said 50. Yeah. And he said 1,500. And that's how invisible the sport was to us. And the great thing about Kabaddi is everybody knows it, everybody's played it, which is not the case, say, in football, which is the other sport I'm involved in. So we had a ready fan base, and I think the thing to note in Kabaddi was, even if you go today in the second season that's going to start in July, if you go to any of the stadiums, it's not really team-centric. They're just there to enjoy the experience of watching a Kabaddi match. Whereas in football, it's the complete opposite. I remember I walked in with the Chennai FC team to Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Delhi to play the Delhi Dynamos, and I was booed. And I was so excited, where people didn't think I would be, but it went to show that people are getting behind their team. There is a very healthy rivalry that's been set up. That's what sports is about. It's about the fans. So whereas in Kabaddi you have fans that haven't really chosen teams yet, but they're just fans of the sport. In football you have fans of the teams, which is, I think, both are healthy. So when Kabaddi started, and by the grace of God it did exceptionally well. I think it was a huge boost in the arm for a lot of other leagues as well, that some of them are tapering out, some of them have been revived. Because like Shailendra said, the market is out there, the broadcasters want to put it out. I think Star did a fantastic job with both football and Kabaddi. And I really think that the future is bright, but obviously, yes, we can't just rest on our laurels of what we've done in the first seasons. You have to get down to the grassroots like Radha was saying, you have to set up infrastructure that is the most important and take it from there. And you know, like they say, you build it and they will come.
Vivek, you've been investing in running for a while, and perhaps Mumbai Marathon is the most successful non-cricketing IPs that we can think of. What are your thoughts on this entire new leagues, their businesses, and are we really approaching the last mile, so to say, in the big leagues of sports?
My take on this is that it's a sunrise industry, so it's a long way to go. And as far as all the leagues, I think, you know, there are many stakeholders in leagues. And what we are seeing is not a very good trend. I'm seeing corporate houses put their best foot forward, put their money where their heart is. And the federations, for example, they need to take a very different role. In the monetization matrix, the federations should be having, you know, the last, not what they can do.
I'll come to BCCI, like, you know.
Oh, actually, no. I was going to say that, you know, sometimes, you know, to answer this question, you're talking about a complete paradigm shift, and probably we should be invoking the name of Kerry Packer to change that, because he said, "Why do I need a federation?" So he started something completely revolutionary, but it was backed by significant investments, and you know, it's a demand and supply thing, as you put it. Players saw that there was value in this. Yes, I'm breaking away from my board and going out and playing, but I think that shift is actually taking place. Because today what is happening is that there are several cricketers, you know, for example, Chris Gale has told his board that he's not going to play a particular form of cricket, because he's looking for his livelihood. Can't blame him for that. And he's saying, Test cricket, I'm not playing. My body can't take it anymore. So I'm going to play the shorter form. So there is a certain shift that is taking place. And eventually, I think this will become, in a way, a self-regulating type of organization, I think, where you don't really need these types of administrators. When we organize ourselves a little better. But to your point also, you know, the real life is we have to live with this, at least the short run. But there are changes that are happening, which will change that also.
So I don't believe we should live with anything. I think, you know, I'm 49, sorry, but the truth. And it's been actually 25 years in sports marketing. And I raised $2 billion for BCCI. I haven't been invited for a cup of coffee till today. When I carry a bid for the team sponsorship, which I've done 3 times, I'm made to wait outside in a line with the office boys. And when the office boy takes my envelope inside. Last time there were 2 bids only, Airtel and Sahara. Both were carried by me. I was made to wait downstairs in the BCCI office. That was a team sponsorship bid, and that's how it's treated. So it's a terrible environment, and I personally believe that the change is now. None of us, you know, look, the average life expectancy in Mumbai is 46.5. So I'm 3.5 years in bonus, you know, so there's not much time left. So I think, realistically, you're a long way, bro. I think the change is now, and I think we need to make that change. Look at the privatization that happened at the airport. We all lived with that horrible domestic international airport. Now it's swanky, it's cool, you know. And a private company came and made that change, and all of us now enjoy going to the airport. We even go early now to have a cup of coffee and then take our flights. So I think that change is crucial, and also somewhere down the line there has to be accountability. So the sports minister, what is he doing? Where is his plan? Where are his targets, quarterly, monthly, annually? Why is he not held accountable? The fact of the matter is that we are not actually taking the bull by the horn. And that is depressing, because don't forget that 58% of your population is below the age of 25. That is huge. The biggest asset this nation has is youth. We have the youngest population in the whole world. I mean, they are restless. If you don't give them arenas to play, they're going to go become gangsters, drink, do wrong things. You've got to give them. So when you give an FSI to a builder in Mumbai of 3 lakh square feet, you have to say 50,000 for sporting arena and facilities. Why not? It's an easy way out. We don't do it. We don't really care. So I think the change, to be honest with you, like I said to you, we all went through situations like I was told to stop Masala cricket. So as a team was, you know, I've been through BCCI. I really believe, I mean, you know, Mr. Dalmia.
If I can,
Sure.
I can't really speak about the BCCI because I don't deal with them. But on the flip side, Shailendra, and I don't know if Radha will agree, but I hope she does. We've actually had a very wonderful time with the Kabaddi Federation, who have been immensely supportive, have been fantastic guides. Yes, I agree, it was also the first time that you could say Kabaddi was being corporatized in a sense. So there's no database of who the players are or anything. It's completely owned and known by the Kabaddi Federation, but they don't have, and Mr. Gehlot, who's the chairperson, doesn't really have the attitude that, okay, this is something that I'm going to completely control. As far as Kabaddi is concerned and being the team owner, the Kabaddi Federation of India, the International Kabaddi Federation, have been very supportive, have been very liberal, have asked us to come up with a model of how they see Pro Kabaddi League. We asked to make it more viewer-friendly, to make some changes in the rules, and they were completely with it. I think they had a great amount of foresight to say, okay, this is going to be the future, this is how we take Kabaddi to the next level. And they've been very, very supportive and continue to be. I mean, just to give you an example, I'm sure all of you all have played Kabaddi at some point of time. You all might have noticed that during the Pro Kabaddi League, you couldn't really hear the players saying Kabaddi. It's because when we were doing our trials, we realized that the stadiums are relatively smaller compared to cricketing stadiums, where you have an average seating attendance of about 4,000 people. And it's so loud that the referees and the multiple, they couldn't even hear them saying Kabaddi. And plus, through years and years of training, and they do yoga as well, which is a funny sight to see, 14 burly guys doing yoga every morning. They do pranayama and all this. They can actually say Kabaddi for 2-3 minutes without legally taking a breath. So when we came across this problem, we thought it was one of the USPs was to, to hold your breath and say Kabaddi. So when we couldn't get past that, we put in an idea from actually the NBA, which is like a shot clock. So now the raider that goes into raid has 30 seconds to raid. This is not part of the International Kabaddi Federation. This is a rule which we asked them to change, and it's a major rule. They automatically said, let's do it, it's fantastic. We changed the point system. We put in an extra point line to get extra points. So they were very open to suggestions to take the sport to a next level. So I can't agree with you all in terms of why do we need federations. In our case, I think the federation has been a guiding light for the Pro Kabaddi League. Look, 50 years down the line, 100 years down the line, I don't know, but people, if the Pro Kabaddi League is still around, we all hope so, that it's built up its own bank so that, we don't really need a governing body. But as of right now, in terms of Kabaddi, the Kabaddi Federation has been fantastic. AIFF in football has been very supportive. And as far as the ISL goes, has been very helpful. So I don't entirely agree that why do we need federations. In my two cases, they've been a huge boon to us.
There are